Welcome everyone to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, everybody?
So what's going on, bro?
Well, you want to start off with the bad news?
Yes.
Which one?
I don't know what you're gonna say, so.
All right, let's go with the good news first, then.
Okay.
I think we're getting our Godzilla vs. Kong trailer very soon.
Oh.
I think
What, like this week?
I don't know about this week. I think we might get it toward the beginning of November.
Okay.
Because my reasoning for that is I recently heard that we're going to be getting like an Entertainment Weekly like preview of, I guess, movies that are coming out next year or something like that. And like not recently, but in the past when they've done that, they've usually had like production photos or like movie photos from like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Kong Skull Island before that. And usually when they show that, that means that the trailer is shortly behind that.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully very soon we'll be seeing that. So that's
good news.
Yeah. Now let's get on to the not so great news. We didn't really get to do a like kind of reaction to the latest Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker trailer.
Yes, I know.
So I kind of wanted to talk about that.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
It's not with me. What's the other news? Is it something we should say and then get to Star Wars, or is it Star Wars related? The other bad news, or?
I mean, this is the bad news.
Oh, there's only one bad news. Okay, let's go.
To me, anyway. So this is going to be potential. I don't even want to say potential. These are spoilers.
This is spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you don't want to know, stop watching now.
There you go. Spoilers right now. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. So that trailer pretty much confirmed the plot leak.
Yeah. Every single thing we saw is true.
Yeah.
C-3PO's memory is going to get wiped.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren's going to fall to his death, get thrown into this abyss thing. The Emperor's in that weird freaking doohickey thing, going to fight Rey, I guess, and Rey's going to kill him, and Luke is going to revive him. Right.
Well, so this is the thing. Pretty much every major site that reports about Star Wars and many of the YouTubers that report about Star Wars have all basically come to the conclusion that that plot leak was real. One thing we can talk about as well, I don't know if you've seen any of this. I don't expect that you have, because you have to kind of be looking for it in order to find it. Shortly after the trailer came out, there were several photos from the end of the movie that leaked online.
Oh.
And that pretty much solidified if there was any doubt that the plot leak was fake, even after you saw the trailer, these photos confirmed it 100%.
So here's the thing. How is it that this stuff is getting leaked? Like, who the hell is working on the set that is leaking this? And why isn't J.J. Abrams getting pissed about this?
I don't know. I have a theory, and I don't really have anything to back this up other than knowing that they do this sometimes on a lesser level. A lot of people are asking that question, and what I'm wondering is, I wonder if Disney is leaking this stuff to gauge the reaction.
Why would they do that, though? Why would they spoil the whole movie?
So no, I mean, that's a good question. And the answer to that is, I don't think they anticipated this plot leak getting leaked online as detailed as it did. And I can tell you right now, I have seen people who defend Disney Star Wars. I see people who hate this Disney Star Wars. I see people who don't really care. And I can pretty much tell you that it's a unanimous thing that everybody absolutely despises this ending.
Yeah.
Like this is the one time recently that I think everybody who's ever had an interest in Star Wars has basically been like, yeah, no, that fucking blows. Like, that is one of the worst endings in, like, cinema history.
I gotta tell you, like, when I saw the trailer, and while I did like the trailer, I said to myself, well, I already saw the movie now. So, do I really want to go see this right away? Because I know what the fuck happens, the whole thing.
Yeah. I knew as soon as I saw that shot of the empty throne, I knew, because there was another YouTuber who a couple months ago said, "Look, I have concept art of how this movie ends." He said, "This is the throne. Here's Palpatine in the throne, wearing his new Sith robes, firing Force lightning at Rey, who's blocking them with Anakin and Leia's lightsabers." And there was the throne.
I just don't know. I don't understand how this is the final one.
Yes.
Where is the security? Why did this get leaked? And it seems to me like Disney did not stop it at all, because they didn't flag anybody's channel down. They didn't
No, they did.
Oh, they did?
Anybody who showed any of those pictures of the ending of the movie immediately got a cease and desist notice.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all there. They have the shot of Palpatine sitting in the throne in his new Sith robes.
But who the hell? It's somebody working on these films, though.
It has to be.
But how could they not know who's doing it?
I don't know, because they had. Well, I'll tell you what. This isn't the first time that this has happened.
No, it's not.
This happened with The Force Awakens, and this happened with The Force Awakens really early on, like an early draft of that.
Yeah, but didn't this happen with Last Jedi too?
Last Jedi happened more. It wasn't this drastic. Like, not everybody knew what was going to happen. This is probably the worst, I would say, because the Force Awakens script that leaked online was an early draft, and there were things in there that didn't make it into the movie.
I see. So this could potentially destroy the box office for it.
I don't think it's going to, because if you look at the ticket sales, apparently the ticket sales are through the roof.
But here's another thing. I saw that, but then this other site today, we got it covered as saying that it's the lowest sales in Star. What are they talking about? Like what?
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock into that unless you get it from another source, because
that site isn't that great. Yeah.
Well, recently there have been several really big stories that people had thought were real that were kind of detracting against Star Wars that completely got debunked.
Well, and so look at the music. The music said the final flight of the Falcon. That was real, right?
I don't know about that.
Like that the Millennium Falcon is going to be destroyed or something?
It wouldn't surprise me if the Millennium Falcon got destroyed, but as far as the like titles for the score and for the soundtrack, I would wait until the soundtrack actually comes out, because sometimes those get changed. Yeah. Sometimes they put placeholder things in there, except for the Phantom Menace one that came out before the movie, and the last thing on there was Qui-Gon's Noble End, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
I was pissed about that.
So what about this plot leak do I really not like now that it's apparently real? The number one thing that I absolutely just I've been thinking about this since the trailer came out, and I just don't understand it. They're gonna go apparently with this story that Palpatine survived Return of the Jedi,
which ruins the whole prophecy, the chosen one, it takes away the victory of Darth Vader killing the Emperor. Like, it just ruins the whole thing. See,
like, logically, in my mind, even though I've never been a fan of Palpatine coming back, and I'm still not, the logical thing to do would have been to say that, yes, he died in Return of the Jedi, and his spirit survived and is trying to come back.
They're not even doing that, though.
They're not even doing that. And I can't say that that's 100% for sure, because maybe it's not the case, and the plot leak got it wrong. Maybe that was an early draft of the script that they were going to. But the fact that he is, so, like, at least from what it looks like, he's put on some kind of moving apparatus in that one scene in the trailer where you see Rey backing up, and he's like, it looks like something is helping him walk towards her. It's like, obviously that's not his spirit, because his spirit wouldn't need that.
Now, also, are they going to have all the, like, ghosts give her force energy or some shit like that?
This is another thing that's really like driving me up the wall. Apparently, there was going to be a scene at the end of the movie where Palpatine was defeating her soundly, like easily, like Palpatine should be able to, right? And the Force ghosts show up, and they help her defeat him. And I was like, okay, as long as Anakin shows up, I'm okay with that because
right?
apparently they cut that completely, and now it's just their voices that show up.
That's stupid.
Now I want all of you to keep this in mind because I can't confirm this for 100%, but it sounds like this is the case. At no point in this movie does Anakin show up.
I don't understand why.
Now, here's what I don't understand. I know that George Lucas is not in control of this anymore, but he was involved in the making of this movie, more so than he was with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
Okay.
He consulted on this movie. He gave ideas. He told J.J. Abrams, this is what you should do. He's the one of the main reasons that Palpatine came back.
Okay.
Because he was like, I always wanted Palpatine to come back. Okay.
But that ruins everything he wrote, though. I don't understand that. Like, you kept like, so in other words, George Lucas just sold out just to get a reaction of the Emperor coming.
No. He apparently always wanted Palpatine to come back. This was apparently something he probably would have done.
So that whole thing was bullshit about, Anakin being the chosen one, and Anakin never fulfills the prophecy, right?
So, well, wait. What I'm trying to get to though is that how do you have 6 movies? Because he said the original 6 are about Anakin. Even the original 3 are telling his story, even though he's Darth Vader.
Right.
They're telling his story. How do you do that? And then you have these 3 movies, and he's not involved at all.
I don't understand.
Like, even if he's just a voice,
right,
at the end of the movie, how does that work? Because what I was thinking would have made more sense was like Rey is getting her ass handed to her by Palpatine, which is the way it should be because it's fucking Palpatine, right? And then Luke shows up, and Yoda, and Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon, and they're all there trying to help her. And then the last one to show up, Anakin shows up, and he just kind of looks at Palpatine, and he's like, you thought you got away from me, didn't you? You know? And then if he gives Rey the power to do it, I'm fine with that. But how are you going to sit there and tell me that, she hears their voices, and then she obliterates Palpatine?
See, and this is another thing, too. It's like, who the fuck is she that, like, did they just create her?
Do you want to know who she is?
She's Emperor's granddaughter or something.
She's Palpatine's granddaughter. Yep.
Which is stupid.
It's the worst case
scenario. I don't understand. Well, first of all, where's his kids, let alone his grandkid? Like, did he populate this whole area where now there's going to be Sith running around? Is it against the rule of 2? Is he just... Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Technically, it's not against the rule of 2 because she's not a Sith.
Is he following the rule of 2? Not really.
Well, he is because... he is because...
I don't even know if he's doing that.
He was the only Sith for this whole time. Apparently, he's been around the whole time.
I don't... But what about Snoke? What the fuck is his purpose?
So, Snoke, apparently, we find out what Snoke is in the movie. They didn't say it in the plot leak, but they said Snoke is, like, what he is revealed. They said that he's not. They said, quote, he's not a pawn of Palpatine.
So what the fuck, man?
So I don't know. So this is my a friend and I were talking about it, and we said this is probably what happened because this is the only way that it may literally the only.
So
way
wait, the Emperor goes all the way to the Nether Realms, or whatever the fuck that is, right? Does Snoke come back from the Nether Realms?
No.
What?
No, so Snoke was in canon, in the novels, it said that Palpatine heard something calling to him from the unknown regions that even Vader couldn't hear. He asked Vader about it, and Vader said, I don't know what you're talking about. So Palpatine was like, so whatever this is out there wants to see me.
Right.
So the theory now is that was Snoke calling out to Palpatine.
But he was sucks, though.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of people that think that Snoke was actually more powerful than Palpatine because he's far older than Palpatine. So what a lot of people think, and this is what my friend and I think, we think that Snoke called out to Palpatine. Palpatine made contact with him sometime before Return of the Jedi, right?
Okay.
In the Aftermath novels, which were the first novels that came out when Disney bought Star Wars, they take place between 6 and 7. It is now canon, as much as I hate this, and you're going to hate this too. I'm telling you right now. I never thought about this too much until now, because now it all makes sense. There's a character in the novels named Gallius Rax, who is one of the leading people for the Empire, like one of the leading admirals for the Empire.
Yeah.
And Palpatine made contact with him right before the movie of Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
He was like, I'm going to the Death Star too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not going to make it out alive.
See, I don't know. Hold on. He was pretty confident he wasn't going to die at all.
I know.
So what does that mean?
So he told Gallius, he was like, listen, I'm probably not going to make it out of here.
That's bullshit. That's new shit. That's bullshit.
So he was like, if and when I die, take the Empire out into the unknown regions and activate my contingency plan.
Yeah, but how does he fucking live on a blown up desk? Like, I don't understand.
Well, hold on though, because and he's like, okay. Gallius is like, okay, I hear you. I'll do it as soon as I hear that you're dead. And he's like, good, okay. So Palpatine, quote unquote, dies, and Gallius is like, yep, time to go. So they all go. They get lost in the unknown regions. They find Snoke. Snoke is like, listen, I know the way back. I'll take you back, but I'm going to be in charge. And they're like, yeah, all right, that's fine.
The Emperor's dead.
Now, here's the thing. This is what my friend and I were discussing. Because everything I just said is actually canon to the story. This is where it becomes our head canon, which may or may not be revealed in the Rise of Skywalker. In Rebels, there is the world between worlds that Palpatine knows about. He tried to get Ezra to get him there. It's basically where you can pull people out of moments in time.
Oh, shit.
And Ezra did this. He saved Ahsoka from being killed by Vader.
Right, I know.
How she's still alive, right? And it didn't mess up any timeline. Everything moved on the way it normally did.
Okay.
What I think probably happened, and my friend and I were discussing this even tonight, we think that Snoke knew about the world between worlds, and he pulled Palpatine out of that moment in Return of the Jedi.
Shit.
And he told him, listen, wait here until everything is ready, and then we'll come get you.
But he wouldn't be hurt then.
No, but he would be older. And that's apparently what they say. They say,
what do you mean older? Like, if he pulls him out, wouldn't he be the same age?
No, because apparently what we think is that he pulled him out in Return of the Jedi, but time has moved on normally for him. The 33 years has been normal for him.
But he's dead. I don't understand.
He's not dead. Snoke pulled him out right before he died. You can literally pull people out like seconds before they die.
But then he wouldn't be hurt.
He's not hurt. The reason that he has the apparatus in there is they said because he's old and decrepit.
So he's 33 years older.
He's 33 years older because he's been around the whole time.
If they pulled him out, been around where?
What do you mean around where?
Okay, so he pulls him out seconds after it happened, and then 33 years later happens after that?
Okay, no. So, okay. Vader tosses Palpatine down the Death Star energy shaft, right?
Yes.
As he's falling, Snoke is like, I got you. And he pulls him out, right?
Okay.
He pulls him out. He brings him
into the future?
It could be like minutes into the future.
Minutes.
And he's like, wait here on Exegol. I'm going to take care of the First Order until the time is right.
Okay, so he pulls him out. He leaves him there.
Yep.
He goes, takes over.
Yep.
And Emperor can't do shit because the guy just saved him. So he's like, fuck. Now this guy just took my fucking empire.
And what's happening though is as he's there, Palpatine is building this fucking gigantic fleet.
Okay.
He's got like 500 Star Destroyers that all have Death Star technology on them.
Right.
On Exegol, which is the place where he is.
Okay, so Snoke is more powerful than Palpatine.
He has to be because he's ancient. They said that he's ancient, so usually.
And Palpatine's like, shit. Now this guy is bigger than me.
I don't think it was anything like that. I I think that they were literally just working together, and Snoke was just like, listen, they think you're dead. Let me take care of this for now, and then when the time is right, you come back.
See,
because in the trailer he says, "Long have I waited." Why was he waiting?
See, this bothers me because, and J.J. Abrams wrote this, right?
No, actually, you want to know who wrote it?
George Lucas?
No.
Who?
The guy who wrote Batman versus Superman.
Fuck that!
Yep.
But this is shit we've seen in other shows, movies. Like, you're borrowing from all these different things. But Star Wars should be original. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, again, what I just went through with the whole pulling out of time thing, that's not canon. That's head canon. That might be what happens in the movie. Honestly, you want to know what I honestly think they're going to say?
I don't know what the fuck they're going to say.
I honestly think they're going to say that Palpatine somehow survived just because he survived. Like, he hit the...
Dude, I don't fucking get that at all.
I don't know how you... Exactly. I don't know how you can
evaporated.
Say that. Right. We saw him hit the power core of the Death Star.
Evaporated, and not only did he evaporate, but the fucking Death Star blew up.
Exploded.
There shouldn't be anything left.
Right. And again, this is why I'm like, it's so obvious to me that the way you bring Palpatine back, if you want to bring him back, is that he cloned his body so that his spirit could inhabit them.
Because you don't even know, Kylo Ren made a reference to that. Why would you use a clone army? So obviously somebody's doing weird shit somewhere in space with clones.
And again, it makes no sense to me because cloning has obviously already been established.
Right.
In Star Wars. It would be more advanced now because it's like 70 years later.
So say he just has a clone body ready, right? Wouldn't his essence go right into the fucking clone body?
That's what I'm saying. And then
okay.
And then it makes sense as to why he would need to be in that apparatus.
See, I don't like this time travel shit at all. Like the fact that they pulled him out right before he died. I mean, so then what exploded if they pulled him out then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if that's going to be the explanation, but apparently when we all thought, oh, Snoke must have just been a thing, they're like, no, he's not. He was not a pawn of Palpatine.
Snoke doesn't make any sense either because, again, I thought that was fucked up. They killed him in 5 seconds, and it's like, well, what was his purpose?
I'm going to be honest with you. This story with Palpatine right now.
Shit.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, they said, no, this was always the plan.
It's shit.
I think that's bullshit. I think this was supposed to be Snoke's story. I really do. I think he was supposed to go to Exegol. He was supposed to have the fleet.
So Rian Johnson just did his own fucking thing.
You know what I think it is?
Fucked everything up.
I think that they told that he was like, listen, I'm killing Snoke, and they were like, okay.
But and then J.J. was like, what?
Well, if you ask J.J. Abrams, he's like, no. This was
bullshit. He's fucking bullshit. Come on, he's bullshitting. He was fucking pissed because all his shit got fucked up, and then it's like, now what do I fucking do? Now I can't erase it because it's fucked up if I do that, but I can't have the shit the way it is because that's fucked up. So I gotta just do some weird poppycock fucking mix match shit.
Here's the crazy, and this is the second. Excuse me. This is the second thing that a lot of people are upset about, even me. Like I don't
even know why she's going to Tatooine to fucking live. That makes no sense either.
Well, she doesn't go there to live. She goes there and she buries the pieces of Leia and Anakin's lightsaber on the place where Luke grew up.
Leia wasn't even there anyway. Okay. Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? So during the movie, we have Kylo Ren turning back into Ben Solo,
which is stupid too.
And we can now confirm this because one of the leaked photos is him standing next to Rey, and they both have blue lightsabers. See,
I don't understand. If they're so fucking powerful when they're dead, then why would they let Rey do anything? They just fucking killed her for themselves. If Luke has the power to just bring somebody back to fucking life, well, here's a new body, boom, there you go. That's fucking retarded.
Here's the thing. Apparently that's not what happens at the end of the movie. He doesn't resurrect Kylo Ren.
What happens?
So when Rey and Kylo Ren are there, Palpatine's like, this was my plan.
Right.
And he does the Force drain thing on both of them.
Okay.
Rejuvenates himself. They're
Right.
like, he turns back into what he looked like in episode 3.
Right.
And then that's when he kills Kylo Ren. He uses Force Lightning on him and he falls into the abyss.
Okay.
Apparently, what happens is one of the voices that you hear with Rey is Kylo Ren. So he became one with the Force.
Immediately?
Now, here's what I don't understand. How did that happen?
Immediately he becomes one with the Force.
Yes. Who taught him how to do that?
Nobody.
Luke, Snoke. If Snoke knew how to do it, why wouldn't he do it?
Nobody. Nobody.
I doubt Luke taught him how to do it because then Luke could have taught all of his students how to do it.
He did.
So the argument that Anakin learned how to do it. Anakin was the chosen one. He was going to become one with the Force no matter what.
Right.
So how the fuck did Ben become one with the Force?
Immediately.
How does that work? Immediately. How does that work?
Did he fall and he just like faded out?
They said he falls and you never see him again.
What do you mean?
They said that's what they said. They say he falls into the abyss, never to be seen again.
But he is at the end.
Only his voice. You only hear his voice.
On Tatooine?
No. Okay, so remember how I told you there was going to be a scene where the Force ghosts show up and help Rey beat Palpatine?
Yeah.
They cut that. So only their voices are heard.
That's stupid.
One of the voices you hear is Ben Solo.
But he's dead.
But he's one with the Force.
Who cares? Okay.
So yes, he is dead, but
this is dumb.
But yeah, but what I'm questioning is how did he become one with the Force?
Did he like Yoda, where Yoda just
was taught. Yoda was taught how to do it. Qui-Gon taught Yoda how to do it.
Okay, and Obi-Wan was taught.
And the Wills taught Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon taught Yoda. Yoda taught Obi-Wan, and then Luke learned how to do it by reading the ancient texts or whatever.
Oh.
Anakin did it because he was the chosen one, and he by default becomes one with the Force when he dies.
Okay, by default, okay.
Because he's literally a being of the Force.
Right.
Which makes sense. It's like, okay, fine. If anybody was going to do it, it was him.
Right.
So what I'm trying to figure out here is like, okay, so you had like 1,000 Jedi Masters die in the time of the Old Republic. None of them could do it, but Kylo Ren can.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like this. This is bullshit. Okay. So Kylo is better than Anakin.
No, well, I don't know. I can't.
Or better than Luke all of a sudden.
So this is my thing. I'm like, okay, so what was the point of going through this whole redemption storyline if you were going to immediately kill him off 20 minutes later? Like,
it's no point. Just anything that J.J. Abrams touches, and even though he didn't write it, this is fucking garbage. There's garbage. So this is going to be, people are going to be talking about this ending, saying it's the worst shit they've ever seen, and this is basically killing Star Wars, the whole fucking franchise. It's going to be fucking shattered. Bad. Might as well just take a fucking 10-year break. And you know what? Honestly, as much as they say this is the final one, I don't fucking believe that for 1 minute. And I think they're just going to take a break and say that they changed their fucking mind and all this shit, because this shit's fucked up and there's no way that Disney's going to leave it where if this shit's a failure, they're going to have to fix this.
Well, I mean, this is the other thing too. And I want to stress this because there is still a small chance that this plot leak is not true.
That's bullshit.
But what I'm questioning though is literally everything in that plot, or almost everything.
I don't understand why C-3PO has to fucking lose his memory. This is dumb.
Okay, so that's another thing. So when 3PO, the reason that he's doing that is they get this dagger that has Sith writing on it. And the Sith language is not something that he can translate without doing what he's doing in the trailer, right?
Right.
So that was in the plot leak.
So why can't somebody else translate it?
Well, hold on, because he's the only one they had around at the time. So now I'm like, okay, we haven't seen this dagger. So maybe this is wrong. Unfortunately, if you slow down the part of the trailer when Rey and Kylo Ren are fighting, and they hit that pedestal when their lightsabers clash, if you look closely, Rey is holding a dagger.
All right, I have a question. So, in other words, he loses his memory.
Yes.
And he's just with R2.
No. He loses his memory, and then they upload the wrong memory into him, and he turns into a murdering psychopath.
And they kill him.
No, because apparently at the end of the movie, they're able to re-upload 90% of his memory, and he basically comes back to normal.
And he remembers everything.
Most of everything, yes.
Okay.
That's why he has red eyes. You know when he has red eyes? Apparently
that was like Attack of the Clones. He started, like...
Exactly.
This is stupid.
Do you know I made a joke about that to one of my friends like 3 weeks before the first trailer came out, or the second trailer came out? Right. I said, wouldn't it be funny if 3PO goes nuts? Because I was like,
he did in Attack of...
Like, oh, look, because on the poster, my friend was like, oh, look, he's holding Chewbacca's bowcaster. Wow. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if he was like a battle droid? And then this came out. And I was like, no fucking way, they actually did that.
That's fucking stupid.
So, they also apparently cut the scene there was going to be a scene at the beginning of the movie. It was going to open the movie after the text crawl, where it was going to show Luke in the past training Leia. And you were going
CGI?
They were going to de-age them, yeah.
I thought they weren't going to do that.
No, they were going to do it for this scene. No. And you see her with her lightsaber. That's kind of the opening to her having a lightsaber. And the scene was apparently going to end with her telling Luke that she was pregnant with Kylo Ren.
What, he wouldn't know that though?
I guess
the Force.
Not. He should know that. He should know that.
This is like this fucking person that's writing this has no fucking concept of the Force or any shit. And he's just throwing shit at. All of a sudden, they're fucking stupid. Like they wouldn't be. You could sense fucking evil on the others. You could have a fucking Jedi Sith telephone conversation of the mind, but the Jedi are too fucking stupid to know that Leia's pregnant. Like that's fucking dumb. Well, Obi-Wan didn't even know either.
So I mean,
pregnant.
I guess they could explain it by saying like you wouldn't know unless you were looking for it or something.
It's fucking stupid. It's
whatever. But that got cut apparently. That
of course
scene got cut, which was I think is stupid because it could have been.
Isn't Leia training Rey?
Backstory. Yes.
Is that cut too?
No, that's in there. That
was a scene from Force Awakens.
That was, I don't know if it was from The Force Awakens. I think they may have re-edited some of the footage that she had to make it work for the movie. But that was going to be the next scene, was that we were going to see Luke training Leia, and then it was going to transition into Leia training Rey.
Why didn't they do that? That would have been nice.
I don't know. They were supposed to do that. They should have done that because that would have been a good way to be like, oh, and that would have shut up anybody who was like, how can Rey do these things? Because, well, she's been training.
She's been training, right.
Now we're going to see Rey training with Leia, but we're not going to have any context as to how Leia can do these things.
No.
So
you're just assuming that she was trained by Luke.
Well, we know she was trained by Luke. They said it in the past. It would have been nice to see that, like, oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so
now what about that Rose character? She's in it too, but she's not really in it.
She's in it. Yeah. Anybody who thought that they were cutting her completely was completely wrong. She's in the movie.
She's in it heavily.
I don't know about heavily, but she's
and Lando's daughter is in it
so
too?
Yes, apparently that's Lando's daughter. Lando is the one that tells them about this Sith dagger because apparently now it is canon, which this is cool. And I actually there are things that they could tell if they do this. He said that after Return of the Jedi, him and Luke started hunting down Sith artifacts.
Well, that's cool.
And because Luke wanted to make sure everything was kind of accounted for.
Right.
And the reason that this is cool is that in the Lando comic, there's a comic where him and Lobot, before he becomes Lobot, they break into Palpatine's private yacht. And he's got all this Sith, all these Sith things in the yacht. And they're like, what the fuck did we just step into?
So they destroyed everything?
I don't know if they destroyed everything or if they stole it or something, but basically it's a nice kind of callback because, yes, Lando has seen these things before. So he can tell Luke, yes, this is what I saw. This is what we need to get, yada, yada, yada. So that's a cool idea. And apparently, he tells them during this time, during one of the missions, he had a child with somebody that got kidnapped.
And right away, it's supposed to be Finn, right? But it's not Finn.
So they imply that it's Finn, but then later in the movie, they're like, "Nah, Finn, it wasn't you. It was this girl."
Oh God. Because it was one black guy, so it'd be like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So.
But doesn't Finn have Force abilities?
That was nowhere in this plot leak.
Oh God.
I think that they probably should have said that he did.
Yeah, because he just became awakened too. So how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, like the.
Isn't Poe Dameron have Force abilities?
Yes, Poe Dameron is Force sensitive.
But he's not doing anything in the movie.
Apparently not. Well, I mean, he has stuff to do in the movie. It's just not like Force related stuff. But,
okay, so let me ask you another question now, because we're hearing shit that Daisy Ridley is doing movies as Rey, like separate. Is that bullshit?
As at the moment, yes.
And Kylo Ren prequel movies bullshit too?
That's BS because he's getting a prequel comic.
Okay. So they're not gonna have Poe Dameron in anything. They're not gonna have Finn in anything.
No, I think we are going to see, like, eventually we're going to see these characters again, whether it's going to be in a TV show or it's going to be in a novel or.
Would it be an episodic thing again? Like they're just lying?
I don't think so.
What about this evil Rey shit? Is that the future or is it just bullshit?
The evil Rey thing is in the plot leak, and it's apparently a vision that Palpatine shows her.
That she will become evil?
That this is what she could become.
Could become or will become?
Yeah, could become.
So even if this happened, she could still be evil anyway.
Not really, no, because at the end of the movie, it's pretty clear that she's devoted to the light side.
So she's not going to stay on Tatooine. She's just going to bury the shit, and she's going to go off back with Finn and.
She's going to go wherever they go. Yeah.
So Finn and Poe Dameron and the Resistance, right?
Yep.
She's going to be okay. And there's going to be no Empire.
The Empire and the First Order apparently get destroyed at the end of the movie.
Completely. Like million ships, they're all going to be destroyed. Not one left.
That's what it sounds like.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Like we thought that happened in Return of the Jedi, and that didn't happen.
Well, there's one wild card that's still out there. And
yeah, who's Matt Smith? What the fuck is he?
Matt Smith got fucked. He got devoted to like a background alien.
Oh, so he's shit.
So here's what my friend and I were saying. We were talking about this again today. The one wild card out there that is unaccounted for is Thrawn. Thrawn is still alive, apparently. He's in the unknown region somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend and I were like, what if they're planning on doing like another Thrawn trilogy?
Yeah.
Just with these characters after the Rise of Skywalker.
That would be great.
Now, whether that's novels or movies, it would probably be novels. But that would be cool because Thrawn is still out there. And Dave Filoni, the guy who does the animation, said, no, Thrawn's not dead.
Right.
So maybe. I think that would be great.
Right. Is she taking the Skywalker name? Is that what's going to happen?
Yes. At the end of the movie, it's just like I said it. At the end of the movie, somebody says, "Who are you?" And she says, "I'm Rey Skywalker."
Now,
and I was like, "Yeah, no shit."
Like, let me ask you a question. So she's the Emperor's granddaughter.
Yes.
But the Emperor technically created Darth Vader, like Anakin.
Yes.
So he's his father, technically.
In a way, yes.
So why wouldn't she just be a Palpatine? Like that doesn't. Like,
well, biologically, technically, she is apparently, but she's just like, no, I'm not.
I'm a Skywalker. Like, yes. But that's okay. So Skywalkers are Palpatines anyway, right? Because technically, Palpatine created Anakin, and then Luke and Leia, they're all Palpatines.
Technically, not biologically, no, because he didn't.
All right, but she's biologically.
Apparently that's what they're saying.
Where's his kids though?
Thank you. I don't know.
I don't understand.
Know.
So like that. So in other words, okay. So they can do something even fucking worse in a couple of years and be like, I'm Emperor Palpatine's kid, and I'm fucking going after my kid.
Well, they did that. They did that in the old canon. There was a guy that came out and he was like, "I'm the Emperor's son," and they were like, "What?" And then he like, it turned out that he wasn't, and yeah.
But there's an opening now. Like obviously.
Oh yeah.
So there could be a whole bunch of grandkids around. Like this whole rule of two shit's out the window.
Well, no, it's not out the window because just because a Sith has a child doesn't mean that the child is a Sith.
Yeah, but who's gonna go by that shit though? Nobody's gonna pay attention to that rule.
Well, I mean, Palpatine would.
But nobody's around to teach them to be that rule anyway. I mean, are they going to find it in a book and say, "Oh yeah, we got it. Only two can."
They'll find it in the holocrons. That's
yeah, but they're not. Nobody's going to go by. That's done. That Disney's doing away with that totally.
No, they're not.
They're not. It's always going to be. It's always going to be two, and that's it. No fucking massive amounts of Sith.
There's no more Sith. They're all dead. After this movie, they're all dead.
What about the Knights of Ren? What the fuck are they?
The Knights of Ren betray Kylo Ren, and he kills them all.
Before what? Force Awakens?
In the movie.
This movie. Where the fuck have they been for 2 movies?
They've been in the unknown regions.
Oh, for Christ's sake. They just left him, they went over there?
No. They got ordered to go to the unknown regions.
And then they came back?
In this movie they do.
Okay.
And then
the Knights of Ren, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
The Knights of Ren are technically Jedi.
No.
Or Sith.
No.
But they're trained with lightsabers.
We have learned, apparently, that they are not Force sensitive. There may be 1 or 2 that are.
I don't understand, like, any of this.
They're not Sith. They're not Jedi. They're not Sith. They're the Knights of Ren.
But he was in the Knights of Ren.
Who?
I mean, Kylo was the founder of the Knights of Ren?
No, the Knights of Ren were around before Kylo Ren.
But they're not Jedi. I don't know. I'm getting very confused. Like
they're not we don't even think that they're Force sensitive.
So what are they?
They're a group of people that are devoted to the dark side of the Force. They believe
scrubs.
In the dark side of the Force. Yes.
They're fucking scrubs.
Yes.
So this whole time we thought that they're so fucking cool. They're fucking the Emperor's Red Guard that gets fucking beat up by Yoda in 5 seconds.
Yes. So do you remember in The Last Jedi when Luke says Kylo Ren took a handful of my students and left to meet Snoke?
Yeah.
That got retconned.
What?
In the synopsis for the Kylo Ren prequel comic, it says that Kylo Ren knocked out Luke like he does, burns down the temple, and that handful of students that Luke referred to, turns out that they didn't go with Kylo Ren. They survived, and they started chasing Kylo Ren to try to bring him to justice.
What?
Yes.
What?
Because it says Kylo Ren is on the run from the leftover students of Luke's Jedi Academy. And the only person he can quote-unquote trust is Snoke.
So he kills everybody?
I guess him and Snoke kill everybody, yes. And then the Knights of Ren, there's a comic coming out. The cover of the comic is Luke and Ben Solo standing back to back fighting the Knights of Ren. And there's only one Knight of Ren that has a lightsaber.
Who's that?
The other ones, we don't know. It was some guy.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, right? The Knights of Ren go to the nether regions, but before they were Knights of Ren, they were being trained to be Jedi by Luke.
Hold on. You keep saying the nether region.
All right, whatever. Fucking outer.
It's the unknown region.
The unknown region. So
yes.
So Luke trains them to be Jedi. They're not Jedi, although they're trained to be Jedi.
Luke didn't train the Knights of Ren.
They were Luke's students.
No, they are not. We thought they were.
Okay.
But
so Luke's students are dead.
Yes.
Okay. They're in. Okay. So one of them is a Jedi?
One of them is a Force user.
Oh, God, this is so. I gotta tell you right now, this is driving me nuts.
Wait, hold on.
They're either good or they're bad. They're Jedi.
No.
I know we're all in between names. Okay.
That is never. Let me just explain this. Even when Star Wars belonged to George Lucas, there were never just the Jedi and the Sith.
I know. Okay, all right. This fucking guy that has a lightsaber, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's with the dark side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he could be potential Sith, right?
No, he's not a Sith. He's a Knight of Ren.
Knight of fucking Ren guy with a lightsaber, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we know this one guy doesn't train a whole bunch of fucking people over there?
Maybe he does.
There we go.
What?
To whatever they're gonna fucking be. Knights of Ren, Jedi, Sith, fucking gray Jedi, blue Jedi, fucking.
He could do that. He probably didn't, because he's just a scrub that I think Ben is going to kill.
But let me ask you a question. So, because this is another thing that annoys me. This whole balance of the Force shit, right? Is this shit real or not? Because if there are people, but if there are people in the background training or becoming or alive that are Jedi, and there's not one, you never know what the fuck there is. You think, okay, it's the Emperor there, Kylo Ren there, and Rey. It's not even balanced either.
Well, no, it doesn't mean balanced in the number of people that use the Force. It means balanced that there should only be
a good and an evil.
There should only be one group of Force users that use both the light and the dark.
So, in other words, Rey, the good side, that's balanced? That just the good prevail?
No, it's not. The good prevailing is not balanced. That's just as bad as the dark side prevailing.
So if she is the only one left at the end of the movie, that means that the Force is going to create somebody to balance the equation.
Exactly.
See, here's the thing, though. This is what fucking pisses me off, right? That whole shit is just so annoying, though, because again, so the Force technically is not good. The Force is just good and evil, you're saying?
The Force has no concept of good and evil. The Force is the Force. You're supposed to use. Okay, so it's like this, right? If you have yin and yang, right, and you get rid of the yang,
right,
what do you have left?
Yin.
Okay, but the whole is yin and yang,
right?
So if you get rid of one side, are you actually whole?
No.
Okay, so
but it's never okay. So in other words, you're saying now that Emperor dies, she's there. So the Force is just gonna go or whatever is just gonna go to something evil.
So if there's too much of the light, the Force will balance out by creating something in the dark side,
which she'll have to go after.
Essentially.
So even if it was balanced, there can never be balance because good would go after the evil because they can't have any evil, and evil would go after the good because they can't have any good.
The only way that they would ever be able to achieve basically perfect balance would be to have a order of Force users that use both the light and the dark.
That's never going to happen.
It's highly unlikely.
Never going to happen. Okay.
But here's the thing, though.
Right.
They established that there were Jedi that did that in The Last Jedi. Everything that Luke said in The Last Jedi was 100% correct. He figured it out. That's why he was like, it's time for the Jedi to end. He's right. The Jedi, at least the Jedi that were around during the Republic, were wrong. They were 120%. But
why can't you just create new fucking Jedi that are good?
That's what they were trying to do with The Last Jedi. That's what they were trying to establish, was that Rey was supposed to be this next generation.
And why isn't she training anybody?
Well, because she's still training herself.
Oh, God.
So you can't. start training somebody when you're still in training. But that's what they were trying to go. That's what they were trying to go with. That's why I love the way Luke was portrayed in The Last Jedi, because he was literally saying everything that I said about the Jedi when the prequels were around.
They were assholes.
They were terrible.
They were totally assholes.
That's why Palpatine took over. It was the will of the Force.
Wow.
The dark side had to come about and basically wipe out the Jedi who were basically abusing the Force. That was it. That's why if you look back at the scene, my favorite scene in The Last Jedi, when Luke is talking to Rey about why the Jedi were not these heroes that everybody makes them out to be. If you look at the floor of the temple, there's a Jedi meditating in the light and the dark. And it shows that he was in balance, or this being was in balance.
Right.
That's what they were also trying to show Luke. It's not a coincidence that Luke was wearing a gray Jedi robe when we first see him in The Force Awakens.
Right.
That's what they were trying to show. It's not a coincidence that Ahsoka was wearing a gray Jedi robe.
But she's still around, though.
She is still around, yeah, but she's not a Jedi.
So how is that bad? Okay, so
she's not a Jedi.
Oh, my God.
She said it. Vader said, revenge is not the Jedi way. And she said, I am not a Jedi.
So just because they say they're not a Jedi means they're not a Jedi?
Yes, because being a Jedi is not a concept of the Force. It's a concept of the beings.
So she can use the Force, but not be a Jedi or a Sith?
Yes.
So there could be a million fucking people like that?
There are a million people like that.
Okay.
There are Force sensitives all over the galaxy who sometimes choose, I don't want to go to the Jedi Temple.
So they could have lightsabers too?
If they build them, yeah. Ahsoka has lightsabers. Hers are white.
And okay, this is the one thing I never fucking understood. And so the Sith were not allowed to train anybody to be more Sith. It's going to be two, right?
Because there was originally a Sith Empire where there were millions of Sith.
Right, I know.
They all tried to kill each other.
Right.
So Darth Bane, well, technically it was Darth Revan, was like, listen, this is how it should be. There should be a limited number of us so that we don't all try to kill each other. And then Darth Bane found his holocron that said that, and he was like, yeah, that's what we need to do. And he established a rule of two.
So they all got to die, which makes no sense either, because they had a whole goddamn empire.
He killed them all.
Right. So
Darth Bane killed them all, except for one. Well, she wasn't technically a Sith. This is old canon stuff. Even
this
though Darth
is so fucking confusing, because you could have a Jedi. I'm not a Jedi anymore. Okay, now it's not balanced because it's balanced because they're a Jedi used to be. It's like, what?
No. It's not a balance if somebody just leaves, because again, the balance does not equate to the number of people that are using the Force on one side.
So Mace Windu could be alive too.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do
with... But not be a Jedi.
Sure. He could be like, listen, I don't want to be. I'm not a Jedi anymore. I'm not.
And he can use the Force and do whatever the fuck he wants to.
Yeah. Because your ability to use the Force is not contingent on what side you choose.
Right.
Like you don't lose your abilities if you're like, I don't want to be a Jedi anymore.
Right.
Like you're a Jedi because you're Force sensitive. You're not Force sensitive because you're a Jedi.
Right. Gotcha.
So anybody, almost anything can be Force sensitive. Any living thing can be Force sensitive, and just be like, yeah, I'm not joining either side. Like there's no point.
Right. Don't you think all these things added in, where before it was just good and evil, now it's like all these gray areas and dark areas. Don't you think that kind of like destroys the whole concept of Star Wars? Like there's always a technicality, or always like it's just too open. Like it's just too.
I don't think so, because technically, if you really want to drill down to like the technicalities here, when Star Wars first came out, like 4, 5, and 6, right? There were no Sith.
Right.
There was literally just the Jedi. Like
they call Vader like the Dark Lord of the Sith, or
they called him the Dark Lord of the Sith, but technically it was either like you're a Jedi that's on the dark side, or you're a dark Jedi, which is what they called them. Then later on, it was like, no, we'll call
But
them.
Emperor was a Sith.
No, he wasn't. In the original trilogy, he was just a politician that used the dark side of the Force.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Then later, because that's why they never called him Darth Sidious in the original 3. It wasn't until the prequels that they gave him the name Darth Sidious. It wasn't until that time that they started saying, yeah, we're just going to call all the Sith Darth.
Right.
And that's going to be a name that they use.
Right. Okay.
That's why when people saw Darth Maul, they were like, wait, what? Darth Maul? Like, how does that work?
What the fuck is that? Right.
Yeah.
This is my apprentice, Darth Maul. He will fight your shit. Right. It's like, what? Yeah. And Count Dooku wasn't even a Darth.
He was a Darth. He was Darth Tyrannus.
Well, Darth Tyrannus, right. But he was trained by Yoda, right?
He was a Jedi who left the Order because he didn't like the way the Order was.
And they don't even check up on him? They just like, okay.
Well, they did. They just didn't think he was doing anything wrong. They didn't know.
And he just became evil. But
he met with Palpatine. He's called Count Dooku because before he was taken, his family was super wealthy. And when he left the Order, he got he inherited all their wealth and he became Count Dooku. Right. And then when Palpatine had been talking to him, he was like, listen, the Jedi Order is insane. They're nuts. I'm not. Haha. Become my apprentice. I'll show you the true way of the Force. And he was like, yeah, all right.
Right.
And he became Darth Tyrannus.
Wow. So, what do you think this movie's going to do?
I think this movie is going to piss off a lot of people.
Money-wise.
I think it's going to be the lowest opening for Star Wars in the past few years, higher than Solo. But
really?
Well, I think it's going to be very low.
This is going to tank.
It's still going to be successful. The movie is still going to make enough money to be considered successful. It's just going to do it very slowly.
Okay. What's up,
Scott? Do you want to know what the thing is? Like, it's obvious to us because if this plot leak is real, which it looks like it is, we know what we're going into. The general audience didn't read this plot leak. They hear, oh, Palpatine's back. I can't wait to see that. Like,
shit.
So they're going to walk in and they're going to be like, what the fuck? Like,
oh, God. It's fucking insane.
You know, we're gonna be those guys that are standing there with the signs like, don't go on the bridge, it's about to collapse.
Right.
Be like, the people are going to be like, I got to get to where I got to get to. Fuck those guys. And then the bridge collapses and they're like, well, what happened? And we're sitting there like, we tried to tell you. Like,
Not that I want to change the subject, but you heard about Terminator opening, right, overseas?
No, I didn't.
Supposedly it's really low. Like, really, really low.
Sure.
Like, record low. Let me just get this thing, because I you know.
Well, I saw some of the movie. Some of it leaked online.
Really?
I saw the opening of the movie. It is one of the fucking most hilarious things I've ever seen.
Hilarious?
When John Connor gets killed, it's actually funny.
It's hysterical. Because
this Terminator, I want you to picture young, super ripped Arnold wearing a bright orange shirt, walks up to this child with a shotgun and blasts him in the chest.
Instantly.
He walks away. He doesn't even sit there like, oh, I did it. He's just like, yeah, okay, I'm done. And then he
boom, and done. Like, in other words, how stupid are you? You don't even know there's Terminators all over the place.
You want to know what's funny, though, is that John Connor sees him coming. He turns around, and he's like, oh, and then Sarah's like, John, get out of the way! And then he gets shot. She shoots a couple rounds off into the Terminator's back. Obviously, it does nothing. And she's cradling John's body, and the Terminator walks away. And I'm sitting there like, was that supposed to be, like, dramatic? Because it's not. It's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, like, how fucking stupid are you? You let your guard down for fucking 5 minutes.
And you want to know what the biggest slap in the face is? Like, this is a spoiler, but, you know, I don't think you guys care. If you do, tell me. I won't say it.
Go ahead and fire away.
This Terminator has a come to Jesus moment where he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that."
Oh, good
Right.
lord!
You told me this already.
Later on in the movie, he's like, "I shouldn't have done that." Right. So at the end of the movie, the T-800 is fighting the Rev 9, and of course, the T-800 gets killed. And right before he dies,
Big shocker.
he has the balls to look at Sarah and go, "I did this for John."
Oh, shut the fuck up.
What the fuck?
Shut the fuck up.
He says like for John or something like that.
Why, can I ask you a question? Why couldn't he just fucking build a time machine and go back and shoot himself before he kills John?
Because then we have Terminator Genesis 2.
Thank you. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that.
James Cameron just said he's got 2 more coming.
Yeah, he thinks
What,
he's
2
making
more shitters?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know? You want to know? We all got wrong. Sarah makes it out of this movie.
Oh, really? She doesn't die.
She makes it, and she's watching over the new girl.
Oh,
The
get
new
the fuck
leader of
out
the
of
Oh
here.
boy, there's
Come
a
on.
shock.
So we're gonna get like a Creed 2? No, I'm just kidding. Like she's gonna be in the movie. And, oh, come on. All right, whatever.
So I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, let's say this movie makes enough money to warrant a sequel, right?
Oh
I
god.
told you they're gonna make a sequel. Go ahead.
What is Legion going to send after them next time? The Rev 10? It's made of energy or something?
So
It can fly?
so
Like what? What is
so
it going to do?
can't somebody pluck John Connor out right before he dies and then just like
Yeah.
the Star Wars? No.
Yes. No, technically, well, not like that, but technically, I guess the new leader of the Resistance could be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is a lot of pressure.
Go save John Connor.
Let me send somebody back to stop this Terminator before he kills John Connor.
But you
And
think
then
they'll do that? They'll probably do that.
I mean, I don't think it would be impossible.
You're gonna do that. There's no way John Connor's gonna stay dead.
Oh, you should have, dude, you should have seen. I want you to picture, too, because they did a really good job with the de-aging of Sarah Connor and John. They look exactly like they did in Judgment
Wow.
Day.
Okay.
And I want you to just imagine John Connor from Judgment Day. He's talking to this like Spanish girl that I guess he's attracted to or something, and he's talking to her in Spanish. And then just all of a sudden, here's the T-800 wearing a bright orange T-shirt.
Spanish girl shipping a Terminator and blowing the fucking out.
He walks up to him and he's just like, clack.
I'm gonna fucking. I can't wait to see that. That's gonna be fucking hysterical.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. No way. They did it outside, too. It was like an outside bar.
But see, that's gonna piss you off, though. It pisses
Oh,
me
well,
off.
God.
You wanna know why? You wanna know why? Because they're shitting on fucking Star Wars. They're shitting on Anakin's legacy, right? Now here it is, the heroes. They just stopped Judgment Day. They go to have a fucking drink and they get fucking blasted. It's like
If
basically.
you look about it, it's turning everything into women.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I'm glad you said
They
it.
could have killed them on the toilet. Basically, that's the same thing.
Well, look at what, and Scott's absolutely right. I mean, look at what you notice that they didn't say that the leader of the Resistance. He's not a Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
It's a Hispanic woman. Okay.
Right.
I get one. Okay, fine, sure, whatever. But the fact that now they're saying that, oh yeah, Rey basically obliterates Palpatine. It's like,
That's
really?
stupid.
Mhm.
That doesn't make
Like, are you
sense.
kidding me? With like with help, but it's like, yeah, but she does it, like on screen. So like,
That doesn't make any sense.
That's what I've been noticing. It's like,
They don't-
oh, let's have the women be the heroes here. We're going to teach equality over on this side, but we're going to scream we're superior over in the same breath.
you know what would have been interesting? It would have been an interesting way to do this, right? Instead of killing John Connor, who's been told his whole life,
Yes.
you
Mhm.
are the leader of the Resistance. You're
Right.
going to grow up to do this.
Yes.
You beat Skynet.
Right.
Wouldn't it have been interesting for his character to live, see these Terminators come back, initially think they're after me, And then they're like, we don't give a shit about you. We don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
We're after this girl. And then he has to make his own destiny. Like they said in the fucking first 2 movies.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But no,
Well, here's another thing. Here's
we
another
can't
thing,
have
right?
him around.
Here's another thing. They know things are going south in the future, right?
Mhm.
So John Connor goes in the past to save him fucking self. Older John Connor goes in the past.
I mean, sure, anything's possible. I just think that it would be a really interesting, and it fits with the whole, there's no fate for what we make for ourselves.
But see,
But
here's another thing that confuses me, right? So now we have a new future, right? That's created, right? But if the new future is created, that means that Reese doesn't go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't it cause a ripple? Like because Reese wouldn't go back in time, he wouldn't have a baby with Sarah. It wouldn't be John Connor because that.
Well,
so in other words, if
yeah.
you kill John Connor, that future doesn't exist. But then the future doesn't exist where he's created in the first place because there's a ripple.
Again, what they're trying to do here is say that Judgment Day is inevitable. We didn't stop it. We only postponed it. And now
but the whole point is, though, there should be a paradox, though, because
you're in a timeline now where Kyle Reese was already sent back. The events have already taken place. They're already in motion.
Yeah, but now he's not going to go back when he gets to the future.
In that past timeline, we're already in the timeline where he already went
but
back.
when it goes to the future, there's going to be a Reese in the future. He's not going to go back. But wouldn't that create a...
Unless Reese is born
you
at a later
understand
time.
what I'm saying? If there's only one timeline... If there's only one timeline, right?
There's not only one timeline. There's not. There's
not.
Multiple. There's multiple timelines in the Terminator universe. Multiple.
So this is the actual timeline.
This is the timeline that was created because they sent Reese back to the past.
But this is not the real timeline.
It is the real timeline.
It is the real timeline. And the other timelines don't exist.
Because okay, so this is going to get kind of complicated, but there's the initial timeline where nobody went back to the past. Skynet just came about. Things just
John Connor, right.
John Connor was born by some means. He became the leader of the resistance, yada, yada, yada.
Well, wasn't he only born because of Reese?
No, because in the initial timeline, there's a universe where John Connor was just born just because. Like, he was Sarah Connor's son. He just happened to become the leader of the resistance, right?
Okay.
That's the timeline that Reese and the original T-800 are from.
Okay.
When they get sent back, that is the movie that we see. That is the
Terminator 1.
That is our timeline that we're in right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So all those events take place.
Yes.
They alter the timeline because now Cyberdyne has the technology to make Terminators early, or at least Skynet early.
Right.
So that changes it. We get Terminator 2.
Yeah.
They stop Judgment Day.
But auto Terminators are still in the past. Why couldn't they just use that technology to create Terminators?
I don't know. They didn't.
Okay.
Well, Cyberdyne had they had the arm and the chip. Those got destroyed, obviously. We know that.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, what they're saying is that in that timeline, the timeline that we see in the movies, what happens after Terminator 2 is that Legion comes about.
So Terminator 3 don't exist. Salvation don't exist.
Nope.
Genesis don't exist.
Doesn't exist. Nope.
That's all wiped.
Those are all separate timelines that don't
Separate
connect.
timelines that don't connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, technically, Terminator 3 connects to Terminator Salvation, but that's a different story.
Right, but then, and Genesis is just another timeline.
Genesis is a fucking mess.
But it exists somewhere.
Somewhere.
And if this bombs, they won't send somebody in the back, and the past is fixed to John Connor.
If this fails, I think
they'll send somebody back to kill.
If this fails, someone's going in the past to save John Connor.
No, I'm going to tell you that if this fails, that will be strike 4, and we won't see Terminator for a while.
he really counted as strike one because he didn't do Terminator 3 Salvation.
No. But you got to think about this though. You got to think of the studios and who's going to be investing. If you have 3 failed, Salvation failed, Genesis
But why
failed.
don't James Cameron pay for it himself?
He's doing Avatar.
They're not looking at it that way. They're looking at the fact they're looking at Terminator movies.
Okay, I have an idea.
So
I
this
have
is
an
one
idea.
movie. This is one movie. So if
I have
all
an
3
idea.
or 4 fail, they're
Why
not
can't it be part of the Michael Bay?
They're not.
Phenomena.
The studios are not looking at it. This is considered a
Well,
franchise.
let me explain. James Cameron goes and he does Avatar 2. Holy shit, it's $3 billion, right?
Sure.
He goes, okay, my Avatar 2 did $3 billion. I understand that my last Terminator bombed, but I want to be happy, so I want you to do another Terminator.
We'll give you $1 million less.
And they'll say, yes, Mr. Cameron, you're doing Avatar 3, 4, and 5? Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Still,
Disney's
we're
not
going to give you $1 million
Terminator.
or so less for your next Terminator movie.
They're not doing Terminator now.
But Disney doesn't own Terminator.
Yeah.
But James Cameron owns Terminator.
Right. So if the movie fails, he has nobody to go to and be like, I want this.
But he
just
could
him.
do a contract with Disney, like Sony has a contract with,
And then something
Disney,
comes out
where
saying Cameron
Disney
did
will
this in the past, they
co-finance.
kick him out like they did with.
Disney will co-finance a Terminator movie.
But this is the thing. Disney will look at that and go, no.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
the last 4 movies failed.
But they'll be in control.
They're
of
not.
it, maybe.
They don't want to
But
take
they
a
won't be.
risk.
They won't be. And I'll tell you right now. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You get this article. Disney is now making a Terminator movie. How do you think that's going to go over?
It's going to be worse than this, probably.
People
They're
will
going to think the
they will
Terminator's been
fucking lose their
Disneyfied.
minds.
Terminator's
They
been
will lose
Disneyfied.
their minds. Yeah.
So you're saying it's better it just dies
Yes.
than Disney buying it?
We need
Mhm.
this is and honestly, I think this is the case for Alien, Predator, and
Oh, Alien's definitely happening. A new Alien
I
movie's
know.
definitely happening. 1,000,000%.
I know. But what I'm saying is that what they should do, what they need to do, is let these things go away. Let them go away for a while so that people miss them. People go, oh, I haven't seen an Alien movie in a while. I'd like to see that.
Well, here's the thing.
And then,
why I
hold
won't.
on, wait, let me finish. And then you wait until somebody comes along that has an actual idea
Right.
that they can make into a viable film. Then you put it out with the care and the love that you're supposed to do with these things.
Correct.
And then
But
all of a sudden, you have something good.
okay, the reason why I don't like that is because I ain't getting any younger. Okay, I waited friggin' decades for like an Alien or a Star Wars or whatever.
Look how great these online movies or snippets of Alien. That was
No, but
done by
I
people
know,
who
that
love
was,
this
but
franchise.
my
We need
point
somebody
is-
like that, and
Right.
they don't come along. Sadly, today it's like, oh, cha-ching.
Right.
I
But see,
got
my
money.
point is we ain't
Cha-ching,
getting
you wanna
any
make
younger.
money? I'll make you one. Oh, it
I-
sucks. Tough shit.
Right. I really don't want to be 60 years old before I see another Terminator or Alien. Like, I understand what you're saying, let it rest, but I've been letting Alien rest when it was quiet from Alien Resurrection like a long time, or Jedi to like Force Awakens was a long damn time, and I just don't want to wait. I'm not
Well, no,
getting any younger.
And I understand that. But the question you then have to ask yourself is, would you rather get these movies and they're just fucking awful?
I mean,
Or would you rather just enjoy what you had and then see if you see the next thing?
well, let's talk about that for a minute, because we have a situation where Kevin Feige is all of a sudden going to do a Star Wars film,
Uh-huh.
which could potentially fix the Star Wars part of Disney, in theory.
Fix, or you mean reinvigorate?
I'm
Yeah.
talking about reinvigorate,
Yes.
where they add a little bit to what made the MCU successful to make Star Wars successful like the MCU.
Yes, I agree.
So why can't you get someone like Kevin Feige to do the Alien or the Predator, like the right person on
Because
there?
those franchises, people are not looking at them anymore.
No, but
Sadly,
they're all Disney bought them though.
They're cookie cutter. They're making
No, but Disney bought them. They're gonna reboot them.
Movies.
Do you want to know why they don't do that?
Why?
Because they don't think like that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: you purchased billions of dollars of properties, right?
They're looking at the end. They're looking at this.
But they bought it. What's the point of buying it if it's going to sit on the shelf?
Okay, but wait. By that logic, then that would mean that they would have to do something with everything that they got.
Correct.
They're not going to do that.
No. Why not?
Because there are some things that they just don't want to do. And some of the things that they just don't want to do are because they look at the track record and they go,
but why buy it in the first place then?
Because they wanted less competition.
Mm-hmm.
They bought the library so they could be like, that's one thing out of the way, and they get the things that they actually want to use, like the X-Men, like the Fantastic Four, like Galactus.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is bad timing with the X-Men, because as far as I'm concerned, in the comics, any type of comic or comic storyline that can actually get me to purely hate characters that I grew up on and got thousands of comics on. This storyline with the X-Men, I absolutely hate every single X-Men in existence member and any mutant there is, because they fucking ruined all of them. They are all no, wait, let me finish, because I gotta finish.
Yeah.
They fucking made them all evil. Okay? They did a thing where, I'm sorry, spoilers. Moira McTaggart is the fucking most biggest fucking mutant ever. You never even fucking knew. She dies, she gets reincarnated, she dies, and she keeps taking the knowledge with her from every universe, right? So she goes to Professor X and she says, your fucking dream failed. Look at this shit. He looks and he's like, fuck. So now he becomes a fucking asshole, okay? And he becomes a bigger fucking asshole than Magneto. He goes to Magneto and he's like, I don't give a fuck, whatever. He makes deals with Mr. Sinister to fucking make sure every fucking DNA is cloned of every fucking mutant there is. He has a hatred for fucking humans, where his words basically that he fucking welcomes mass murderers. They go to this plant thing where all the mutants are on this fucking island. He has fucking dinner with Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister. But a fucking soccer mom or a human, they're fucking disgusting. They're evil. Fuck them. We're going to fuck them up. So now you are actually rooting for the human race to create these new Sentinels to fuck them up, because they're all fucking evil. All of them. You had Cyclops go to stop the Fantastic Four from taking Sabretooth away. He starts talking like an asshole. First, he's talking nice to Ben Grimm, talking nice to Invisible Woman, talking nice to Johnny Storm. Reed Richards ain't picking up. He ain't tolerating that bullshit. He's like, okay, that's nice. You talk to my family. What do you want? Because he knows you're full of shit. And then he's like, I'm taking him. He's like, you're not taking him because we're going to kick your ass, basically, right? So then he starts talking about, oh, well, your son's a mutant and he's going to be fucking tortured in the future, which is bullshit. Because nobody gives a fuck in this Marvel universe that the kid was born with fucking powers or not. Because he's not a mutant if your parents are fucking powered anyway. The whole point of a mutation is it's different. So if they're all full powers and he has powers, he's not different. So they're all evil. Every single X-Men, Wolverine, they are all evil and they are all eternal. Because when they die now, Professor X has an egg that he plants in the fucking ground with this tree. He fucking regrows a Wolverine or Jean Grey. And now, besides the power of being a telepath and whatever, now he has like Doctor Strange powers where he could just pluck the soul from heaven or hell and put it back in the body, which is absolutely insane. So, because of this, Wolverine lives for fucking 10,000 years and every other X-Men. And it's boring. So now they just pissed everybody off. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're
Okay, how about this? Do you think they're doing this because if they destroyed the comic book, that way Disney can come back?
This is the thing. I think
don't do X-Men that way, but basically recreate the X-Men for the big screen. They can take the big screen version, bring it to the comics, and boom.
No, I think that this was done before they purchased the X-Men back in the movies. So they tried to destroy the fucking whole entire fucking line by creating this bullshit. But then they're like, oh shit, we still got to put this out, but we bought it now. So now we're fucking ruining our own fucking thing. I don't know, Chris, but I'm just saying that they ruined it. They totally ruined every X-Men book. I'm never getting it again. And I just had to get that out there.
Fair enough. I mean, that sounds like a pretty stupid story, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, but going back to the point you made before, the reason that they don't have somebody like Kevin Feige or somebody like that is that they don't think that, oh, this needs something like that. Mm-hmm. Because Kevin Feige comes across as somebody who he's passionate about these things. He knows what's going to work. He has an eye for seeing what the audiences are going to respond to and what don't. These other people that are making these movies, they're like, I want to tell this story, and I'm going to tell it my way, and if you don't like it, oh well. And it's like, okay, but then your story's not going to make any money,
Right.
So
that's the whole thing. They just bought it just because they're rich and just leave it there.
Yeah,
and just
they want to
be
I mean, it's a good investment because you get what you want. And the thing is that I can see what James Cameron was trying to do. He wanted to try to make Terminator like, oh, we're going to push this into the future, and this is how we do it.
I don't believe that. You want to know why? Because I'm a creator too. So I understand he's doing Avatar, but if you really were behind Terminator 100 million%, you fucking work on it yourself.
I don't disagree with that. I just think that his idea, or the idea, was that we need to kind of do a quote-unquote passing of the torch.
I totally don't agree with that. Because, you don't need to have a passing of the torch if the whole thing's in the future anyway.
But this is the thing that a lot of these. This is why so many movies are the way they are now, with this passing of the torch idea. They don't want people to have to watch the old movies.
Yeah.
Because they don't think that the kids and the people that are going to take this into the future are going to go back and watch the old movies, which is bullshit to me, because they have parents that grew up with these things.
Yeah.
That's how you introduce these things. Listen, okay, when I was younger, right, my grandfather sat me down and he's like, we're going to watch this movie.
Yes.
I was like, okay, Grandpa, what are we watching? He was like, it's called Star Wars.
Right.
And I was like, cool. And I never turned back.
He really did?
He showed me. He was like, this is Star Wars. And I was like, holy, like, in my mind, I didn't obviously think this at the time because I was 5. But in my mind, I was like, oh my God. That was amazing. I need to see that. Right.
He shaped you, yeah.
He's the same one who told me, Chris, we're gonna watch this movie. Okay, Grandpa, what are we watching? It's called Godzilla.
Right.
Okay. And I never turned back. So the idea, and it boggles my mind, because they sit there and go, well, kids aren't going to watch Ghostbusters, so let's do it like this. And it's like, what are you, a fucking idiot?
Right.
Like, oh, kids aren't going to watch that Terminator movie.
So you're saying that every single franchise needs to have something for this generation?
Oh, I don't think that, but that's what these people think.
That's what they think.
That's why Star Wars, when people go, why was The Force Awakens a rehash of A New Hope and all them? Because they didn't think people were going to watch the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we have to tell this story for these kids so that they see it now.
Right.
And take it into the future.
So do you think that Star Wars will go quiet for, like, let's say 10, 15 years? Then they start bringing the episodic thing back, and they could be like, okay, here's a
Star Wars. No matter what happens with The Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars is never going to go quiet again, because there's so much shit that they're doing.
No, but I mean, I'm talking like big scale, like meaning episode 10.
They have a movie scheduled for, I think, what, 2021, 2022? 2022. That's not an episode movie, but it's a Star Wars movie.
Okay.
So I think I agree with you. I think the episodes are going to go away for a while, but I don't think they're gone.
I don't think they're gone either.
I've heard this narrative before, the end of the saga. I heard this when episode 3 was coming.
It's all bullshit.
And then look where we are now.
It's bullshit.
So-
I know
so-
it. I know I'm going to be
You're right.
a grandfather, and I'm going to be taking my grandkids to see.
Yeah, you're right.
You know.
Because you're going to be taking them to see Star Wars one way or another.
Right.
But whether or not it's going to be episodes, you know what they could do? They could do a sly thing where they're like, well, we're not going to call it episode 10, but it's technically
It's going to be.
episode
It's
10.
going
Yeah,
to
it's
be.
gonna be
They're
10.
going to call it episode 10. I'm sure they don't give a fuck. At that time, they're going to.
Well, they don't call the current movie. They don't go by the episode numbers anymore. If you notice.
Well, so in other words, like Rise of Skywalker is technically not 9.
It is episode 9, but they just don't they don't put it in the title like George Lucas was doing when he was making the prequels. Like when the
Right.
prequels are coming out, you knew this.
But
shit
it will
was-
be in the
was-
crawl. Won't it be in the crawl?
Yes,
Episode
yes, it
9.
will.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they're not going to put the emphasis on this is episode 10, this is episode 11. They're just going to say, yeah, here's Star Wars. Oh, you probably know these characters.
Right. Wow.
Which, whatever. But yeah, so this is going to be a fucking this is going to be a nightmare.
To this day, I've only seen Last Jedi once. I just didn't want to see it.
I mean, if you didn't like it, I don't blame you for not watching it again. I don't religiously watch Cloverfield or anything like that. Like,
Yeah, I know. Which that's another thing that's coming back probably eventually, right?
oh, I think that when J.J. Abrams is done with the Rise of Skywalker, he every time I hear that J.J. Abrams is working with Warner Brothers, I have there's this little voice in my head that's like, that means we're gonna put Clover in the MonsterVerse. But then I'm like, oh God,
yeah.
Please.
Well,
stop.
I think right away he's going to do Superman. I think he really is.
He's gonna do Superman. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But I just hope he doesn't do it I don't want to have Superman kill anybody because I can't. That's not to me. That's not Superman. I hope he learns
The problem
that.
is he was not technically Superman yet, and that's what everybody's forgetting.
No, he killed. It doesn't matter.
I know he killed. I'm not saying he did, but the problem is everybody.
Well, when he was Superman, he was too.
Technically, he wasn't Superman yet. He
Well,
was still,
when he was Superman,
he
he
was
was.
still Kal-El from.
Yeah, but when he
from
was
Krypton.
Superman, he was in the courthouse and he was too stupid to realize that they were going to blow up.
He was not, but technically he was not Superman.
He was Superman in the courthouse when Lex
Still
Luthor.
Clark Kent.
He was Superman in Batman vs Superman. He
But
was
yet,
Superman in Batman
You're
vs
also
Superman.
forgetting that the villain, he's a perfect tactician. He knew what he was going to be doing before Kal-El did. So
No,
he
but
was pushing.
I'm not talking
Kal-El.
about Zod. I'm talking about Lex Luthor in Batman
I
vs
know.
Superman. He killed all those people that Superman was standing right there and he couldn't detect that there was a bomb and there was whatever. Crazy.
Well, I mean, again, that could have been a good storyline where Batman teaches him not to kill people. But
Yeah.
we can't have Batman teaching people anything. He has to be funny. I mean, serious.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Affleck. I mean, oh wait, no Ben Affleck. Oh shit.
You
Well,
still haven't seen Joker, have you?
I saw Joker.
You liked it, though.
I loved Joker. I think
I
Joker
thought
is one of the best movies of the year.
Yes, it was awesome.
I think so. I got to tell you, I thought it was excellent. Totally 10 out of 10 for me.
I think Joker. I'm not the first person to say this, but I think Joker is the final nail in the coffin for the DCEU.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that movie came out and the executives are sitting in that office right now going, what the fuck do we do now?
Right. Well, see, here's the thing. Now, how the fuck do you continually have movies like Suicide Squad in that universe and Wonder Woman?
Exactly.
Now, we know for a fact Wonder Woman's having a 3. And it's quite possible that, what's her name? Patty Jenkins, whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She may be doing a new Justice League movie. Because they were
She's
saying.
thinking about it. That's just
Right. First of all, they're giving her Wonder Woman 3, flat out. And she said yes. And she's probably going to do. She doesn't really want to do a Justice League, but
No.
she doesn't really want to make her bosses not happy. She might do like a half Justice League, like a Wonder Woman,
Well,
a couple people, but.
Well, this is my thing. There's two things, right? If Wonder Woman 2 comes out and it does well and it's just as good or better than Wonder Woman, I think she should do the Justice League because she's made 2 good movies and, why not?
She already said the next movie's Wonder Woman 3. Definitely.
Right. So, okay. So if that comes out and that does well too, again,
I don't know if this is going to do well though. Wonder Woman 2.
Well, here again, I'm just saying hypothetically. Let's say the Wonder Woman 2 and 3 come out and they're good. They do well.
Right.
People like them. What I'm saying is, at that point, she would have made 3 good movies. Let her do Justice League.
Okay.
She's earned it, obviously.
Yep.
Right.
The other thing I'm going to say though is, here's the thing: if they're going to do a Justice League movie at any point, they better introduce a new fucking Superman, because what the hell?
Well, how they just going to show?
Jenkins even said she would rather see them try to pretty much create or make certain the other characters in that thing is well created before.
Right. So in other words, are you going to say it's the same universe, but Superman's going to look different and Batman's going to look different?
I don't know. I think we're going to get our answer with what they're doing when they release the Batman. When we get information about what the Batman is doing.
But the Batman is another universe.
Again, though, but we don't know if that's true, because they've never come out and said that. So,
because remember that that one Dracula movie that came out was supposed to start the Universal Monster movie thing, but when it bombed, they decided to go, "Oh, we're going to go with the Mummy." And when that bombed, we're going to rethink ourselves.
So basically, what I'm saying is that when we get a definitive answer about what the Batman is, that's when we'll know this is what they're doing.
Well, here's the thing. Why can't they? Okay, I understand they have a vision for the Joker, right?
Yeah.
But I never expected they were going to actually have Batman in it at all, like Bruce in it at all, right? Mm-hmm. That's the perfect fucking thing to do a franchise with Batman coming into the picture. Like that fucking Joker timeline. I know it's in the 80s, but that is fucking perfect, because in the sequel you could have him show up at the end.
Well, Batman. Again, it's the same friend I was talking about Star Wars with. He said something, because I went to see it with him, and he said something when we left the theater that I was like, that would be a really good idea. He said if they did a sequel, they should have Batman in it, but the movie should be from the Joker's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I think they should have Batman in it at the end, because, he's building himself up to his dramatic proportion where he thinks he's unstoppable. And then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, who the fuck is this? And then the third Joker movie could be the classic Batman versus the Joker.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very honest with you. I would be perfectly fine if they did not make a sequel to this.
They are making a sequel, 100%.
To me, this is a one-shot.
The guy was not going to make a sequel.
Stay that way.
The guy was not Todd Phillips? He was not going to do a fucking sequel. And Joaquin Phoenix went to him and he said, I want another movie. And he's like, okay.
Well, okay, hold on, though. That is just a rumor at this point. That has not been confirmed. So, I'm not saying it didn't.
This movie right now is at just about $850.
It's close to $1 billion.
It's going to do $1 billion, 100%.
What I'm saying though is, personally, I don't think they need to do a sequel to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't, but I'm going to tell you right now.
This is the problem I'm going to have with Joker. This is the problem which I have with a lot of sequels that are done. Okay, the last movie made buku's worth of money. Oh, because this last movie made buku's worth of money, let's make a sequel. That's the problem I have with sequels. Now, if there's more to say to the movie, fine, make a sequel. But granted, this movie sets that up. I'm with Chris.
But see, the Joker could be like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. There was 3 really fucking good Batman movies with Christopher Nolan, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could technically turn this Joker thing into a trilogy, like a fantastic fucking piece.
They could do that, but they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
Because this movie said what it had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but
that's it. I mean, that's it. That's like point blank. That's all they had to say. I honestly think that there's no reason in my mind for this Joker to have to fight Batman. There's no reason.
And I also think that they don't want to do that because they don't want to take away, because they love the Joker character, and they don't want to have him
And look
play
how
second
young
fiddle
look how
to Batman.
look how young Bruce was in this.
Well,
So by the time Bruce grew up,
what is it, 5 years?
The Joker's
10
going to
years?
be pretty much pushing.
No, 5 years? No, how old was he in this?
No, he was young in this. He was very young.
Was
he
young.
10?
He was about 10,
he might have
11
been
years
younger
old.
than
Yeah.
10. He might have been younger than that.
Like 5? What was he, like 7?
He might have been 7. Yeah.
So 15 years.
He'd be ready to go into the old
time,
folks' home with the if
Right.
the Joker does.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they did it purposely that way anyway, so they can never have them fight each other.
I honestly think that is the case. Because I heard a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I can't wait to see him fight Batman," and I'm like, "You didn't
Never
get
gonna happen.
because there's no. This is the thing, right? This Joker is menacing. He's right, but he's not like the Joker in like the Batman animated series or like
I know.
the Joker. He's not meant to be like, I'm gonna fight Batman or I'm
I mean, this could be a universe where Batman doesn't even exist.
Right, and I think that what they're gonna try to say is that like, yeah, if you want to say that eventually Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, you can say that, but you're not gonna like. I don't think they're going to show that. If they make a sequel, they might mention Batman. They might say, look, like the Joker might be like, look, this is all because of me. It's kind of like a reverse. But I walked out of that movie going, that's it.
Right.
That's the story. The story has been told. I said that
like
even
walking
But again,
out
even if they never make a sequel to it, I'd be completely satisfied too, because I think that's
I'd go see it.
That's purely like a something that will go down in history as perfection.
That's like that. That's also like this is a Batman story, right? You could sit there and be like, well, does Superman exist in Metropolis in this universe?
No.
And it's like, why? Like, why would you need Superman? Like, there's no reason.
I know we got seconds.
But
all right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye for now.